Many people consider a Rolex Datejust to be the most iconic high-end wristwatch in existence. Even to the inexperienced eye, a cyclops, a fluted bezel, and a jubilee bracelet are unmistakable signs of luxury. This time, the word icon isn't too strong of a description of this timepiece. However, the Rolex Datejust 41 in specific seems to be a little too simple. Before we even begin, we just want to clarify that being overly simple does not necessarily equate to being terrible. It is not something negative, and be aware that, as is the case with most horological matters, it is a matter of opinion. What one person considers as something simple, another might describe as exquisite, polished, or even classic. That is why today, we're going to talk about the Rolex Datejust 41 and why people think this watch is just too simple to be iconic. Welcome to Lux Life, and when it comes to luxury and lifestyle, we've got you covered. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's start. These two watches may appear different, but they are new additions to the Rolex Datejust 41 family and have the same unique reference number 126300. The dial and bracelet are the sole distinguishing features. Prices range from $7,900 for a steel model with a Neusser band and a smooth bezel to $8,150 for a Jubilee band. And from what I can determine, if you wait until October 2022, you can purchase one of these watches from an authorized seller. This is a 41mm watch, as the name suggests. It is 11.8mm thick, 47.5mm long, and 21mm wide at the lugs. It can also be used in water up to 100 meters deep. The watch weighs about 134 grams on the Oyster bracelet and about 128 grams on the Jubilee. But what makes these watches this way? There are two answers to this: how the watch looks like and what it represents. The design, the way it's made, is pretty much the usual way Rolex does its watches. The Cyclops 8 magnifier is the most interesting thing about this situation, and it's almost unusual that this is the only feature that grabs attention, because there's just a lot of things that are so great about this watch. These watches are super underrated, to be honest, probably because Rolex offers a lot of other watches that are getting tons of attention from the enthusiasts. We're talking about this one in particular because of the smooth bezel. People like the fluted bezel, giving the Datejust watch a lot of personality. Even though it looks like a Rolex, it doesn't make a strong statement, but it still displays the trademark elegance of the brand. Some individuals find them to be good, but consider this as underrated, unlike some other Rolex watches. The 41mm diameter appears to be the least exciting option available because of its size. After all, most men, contrary to popular belief, still opt for larger wristwatches. This leads me to the second reason why the watch is considered overly simple: what it represents. Let me ask you guys a question. What does this Rolex signify to the average person? When you hear the name Rolex, what comes to mind is an extravagant, whimsical luxury item. Also, Rolex is often regarded as the industry standard. If you were to ask some individuals who don't know anything about watches to name the best watchmaker in the world, we think you'd hear the word Rolex thrown around a lot. Consequently, this timepiece is an indicator of one's social status. It can also represent an important event, a change in career, a raise, or something else. Perhaps someone will purchase this because they find it aesthetically pleasing, but we anticipate many will do so for only one reason: it's a Rolex. Many people underestimate the uniqueness of these timepieces, and it's a damn pity that they don't recognize how special these are. And even if some find these too plain, there are many excellent features that perhaps only watch aficionados are aware of. As a Rolex watch owner, quality is the first thing that springs to mind. Any component of a modern Rolex watch displays engineering that is incredibly outstanding, intriguing, and subtle. Every element of these timepieces is meticulously crafted, from the bracelet clasp with its spring-loaded release and extension system to the extraordinarily tight and link tolerances to the movement inside these watches. We think the most interesting thing about these is the movement inside it. The Rolex 3235 is a fairly new movement that didn't come out until 2017, and it is a lot better than the 3135, which was already pretty good. The 3235 beats at 4 Hz, which is 8 ticks per second. It is anti-magnetic, thanks in part to the blue parachrome hairspring, and it has a new escapement system called Chronergy. The escape wheel, the pallet fork, and the pallets themselves are all different in the new system. This makes the system lighter and more efficient. Because of this, the 3235 has a bigger power reserve, about 70 hours, without changing how energy is stored. The most impressive thing about the movement of this watch is this: Rolex watches have had the word Superlative Chronometer officially certified stamped on them for decades. But the brand has changed what that means in the last few years. So in 2016, they started ensuring that some of its new watches were accurate within -2 to +2 seconds per day. That's very accurate for a mass-produced mechanical watch, and Rolex tests the movements after they've been put into the watch cases. In addition, Rolex suggests waiting 10 years between servicing its latest models. That can be assured with absolute certainty of high quality. This is in contrast to the Grand Seiko, which should be serviced every 3 to 4 years. If you ask us, we'd say that's a pretty good testimonial to Rolex's durability. When looking at the Datejust 41, the thing that piques people's interest the most is not the name printed on the dial. In the decades of innovation, it went into making this particular watch run perfectly and accurately in some way. Even though the precision of a watch only marginally contributes to the quality of our lives, we continue to be charmed by it. Nevertheless, Rolex does produce some really good watches despite all the hype it receives, the exorbitant costs it charges, and the status symbol it represents. The Datejust 41 with a smooth bezel can be quite cool if you know what you're looking at. It can be pretty confusing if you don't know what you're looking at, but despite its quality and icon status, because of the brand that made it, we still maintain that it is without a doubt the simplest yet an iconic Rolex watch. If you enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive updates in our latest videos. Also, feel free to leave us a comment. If you want to watch more videos, head on over to our channel to see more from Lex Live. See you!